control system of any building where the most cost-effective and quickest energy savings can be achieved. We should check on the panel that all of the switches are turned to auto, and where they're not, switch them so they're in that setting. Also, we'll review the times and temperature settings and many of the other settings buried deep within the strategy to make sure that they best reflect how the building is used. Through this optimization, it is not unusual to be able to save up to 15% of a building's energy consumption. A significant area of energy wastage within a boiler room can be the exposed hot pipework. This gives off excessive heat, which only goes to serve the purpose of warming the boiler room, which is totally unnecessary. This heat can be conserved and kept within the heating system by installing flexible insulation jackets over the exposed areas and can save up to 5% of energy within the heating system. Standard lighting that we often see installed within buildings are these fluorescent tube lights. These can be changed for LED light tubes. These can be installed within exactly the same fitting, just with some minor wiring modifications. Once installed, these LED tubes will save up to 60% of the energy used to light that room. It is not unusual to find appliances left on unnecessarily in buildings out of hours. On this desk, we can see that both the monitor and the computer have been left on unnecessarily. To encourage users to turn off devices when they're not being used, we have a simple method of green and red plug tags. Green indicating to all within the building, both the user and people such as the cleaners and the security guards, that this item can be turned off safely when it's not being used. These devices plug in through the plug sockets, show the user what the item is, and green indicating to all that this item can be turned off safely when it's not being used. This is a fairly typical radiator used to heat many school classrooms, and there's lots of areas where energy can be saved on this. You'll note that this radiator has been fitted with a thermostatic radiator valve. This is currently set to a midpoint, which is very good. However, for many radiators, we find they're often turned up to a maximum setting, which effectively means that the radiator valve is not doing its job in terms of controlling the energy going into the radiator and the heat within the room. So by turning it back to a midpoint, we will save energy quite quickly and easily. If a thermostatic radiator valve hasn't been fitted, then one can easily be retrofitted on, to existing radiators, either on the top or to the bottom, and again, turn to the midpoint. Another area where we can save energy with radiators is by putting a reflective panel behind it so that the heat is reflected more into the room and less into the cold wall behind. Following the on-site energy audit, you'll be provided with a complete report that details out all of our findings. This report is split up into several important sections. Initially, we'll provide you with a benchmark review of your building, how much energy you are consuming versus buildings of a similar size and type. We will then detail out all of our energy recommendations that are specific to you and your site and how you use your building. At the end of the report, there is a summary which details out the costs and estimated savings of each of our recommendations. This is aligned to the different funding strategies that you may want to use to pay for the works.